We've come a long way from Heart of Dixie, right?
So long.
I was listening to your first album. I'm like, she is the cutest little sweetest flower child in the world. And now I'm seeing you in Windows with your hot ass. And I'm like, damn, Heart of Dixie really has grown up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, it's really funny.
I love that you put your whole ass out there. That's also confident.
It was just
by
like
the way,
a little
Windows.
like.
Yeah,
I was a little nervous
come
about
into your
that,
sexuality too, though.
Yeah,
you're just not scared to be at all, which I love. That's bold.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, Windows is definitely there if you listen to it. Yes. But yeah, and it was that transition of like, oh, you're 16, you were this little. What happened to the little? I'm like, okay.
Do you feel that? I mean, not to compare it to Britney Spears, not a girl, not yet a woman, but do you feel like you've had to grow up in front of the world and you're having to prove now that you're an adult, not a little kid?
Yeah. Like, it's so funny. We talk about this because I just had my first album release show in New York. And this sweet, and I'm not talking bad about her at all. It was just the interaction. It was just a perfect description of what I have to deal with sometimes. But sweetest older lady, like in her 80s, and she had missed the like VIP meet and greet, and so we come back and she had the Heart of Dixie t-shirt.
She's
on.
OG.
She didn't recognize me, and I mind you, I dyed my hair recently, and I'm just whatever having fun about that. But she was like, "This is Danielle," and she like went like this, and I said, I'm not 16 anymore, and I'm 28, and yeah, but it's me." And she was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's a weird transition.
That is, so growing up in front of the world, and also like you win The Voice.
Yeah.
1 month later, you're immediately signed to Big Machine. Mm-hmm. 1 month later, you're putting out a single.
Yeah.
How is that turnaround even possible?
I don't even know.
Do you even know what you're putting out? Like, did you even know the songs? I mean, I guess you were growing, you kind of did because you knew what you liked. You're listening to Carrie, you're listening to Lauren.
Yeah.
You knew you loved country, like the country queens. But did you like even know what you wanted to sing about yet?
Not really. No. And I knew what I, like you said, like I love to just like sing. And that was just from me covering all these women for my whole life. And then they give me all these songs. And at first I hadn't written a song.
Okay, so they give you a list of songs and they're like, pick?
Yes. They were like, here's 2 links of like 25 songs. I need you to pick out like, I think I had 12 on that first album.
So they had already curated this list.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, just listening. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I like that one. Like, I really hadn't had anything to relate to. I mean, Heart of Dixie's about a divorced woman getting away. I'm like, okay, I encourage you. I haven't lived it. I don't know. Yeah. So it's really funny to think about just this little girl singing about that. That was my very first single.
I know. Were you connecting more just to like the vibe of it? Did you even know the lyrics? Because I was reliving Taylor Lynn, who I was in a band with back in the day. We put out a single called He Better Be Dead. And it was like, he better be dead. His house burnt down to the ground. He had 2 wheels hanging off a crumbling cliff. And I was like, looking back, I don't even know what those... I know. Have no connection to the impact of what that song actually was saying. Do you feel that way?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but now you're so connected to what you're saying, and you can feel that. Like, Wedding or a Funeral, that song stops you in your tracks.
It's very
And
haunting.
your voice is insane.
Thank you.
Was that kind of freeing to have that
It
song?
was. It was. It was like the point. It was like the moment in the record, and then just the song. It's like, I don't really care anymore. It's like, this is your bed and mess to deal with. And it's like, yeah, it's sad to see, but you're like, this is either going to be a wedding or a funeral. I don't have to deal with it anymore. It's very haunting. It's like 2 black Cadillacs kind of thing. I love it.
I love it.
It's a vibe.